For the foot, we will need, as usual, mesh to give us a reference of where we are and where we have to go to. And what I can see here is that we've got a sharp edge coming off of that theory going all the way up there. And then we have another sharp edge hitting that exact same theory. So what I want to do is get that in there, and then we will have more or less two surfaces. So it's going to have one here, another one here. I'll keep it fairly simple. So what I want to do, I will take a degree 1 curve, snap it onto these sections here. And I'll do the same on this other side. So you can see that there is something like a face here. So I want to have that in the middle there. And then one more. Down there. And I'll turn up the degree on this. And I'll push that in X. Let's evaluate this one. It's a bit odd, but just go with the scan for this. 2. There we go. Now let's extend this one all the way up there, all the way down there. Same on the back. And now I'll turn off the mesh. And what I want to do now is extend the front one back to that edge, this one to the edge. Take that surface and these two curves. And I'll bring it down here, this one. Same idea. I'm gonna come this way. So we've got that going on. Let's check again. A bit inboard there. Let's do that again. slide it along this edge till it hits that volume there. That's it. I'll take that curve and slide it along the very same edge till it's sitting on the scan mesh, or however you want to call it. Now that we have that, we're going to go the very easy way of doing this. Get this curve in here, this other one here. Extend this back, get that there, and we will do a nice bi-rail. And those will get some CVs on them, and we will take these CVs and we will push them outboard. This will generate our first surface here. And now these CVs and copied curves will go the other way around. And we will generate another bi-rail, and that's the foot there. Of course, it's not going to be that thin blade, because what we will be doing now is taking those curves, those surfaces, hiding them, bringing up the mesh, and now we will be fine-tuning these. And you've guessed it, same thing on the Mac. So as you can see, it's the same typical fine-tuning that we do every time. So that will do for that area. This one will be working just the same way. So that should do it for the fun part of it. Now what I will want to do is clean this up to have some nicer edges, but as a rough volume that will work just fine. What I want from these is that these surfaces also intersect with the body, so this one is decent from that perspective. At the top it's okay, but at the bottom I want to have that surface extending all the way down there. So what I want to do is generate that curve in such a way that it's actually sitting in the bodywork. How do I do that? Well, that's pretty easy. I'm gonna extend without merge that surface till it goes through, then extend it back a little bit, this time with merge turned on. Silly me. That goes back there. And now what I want is that you get here one line going to somewhere around there. Now we lift this point up, out, like that. Profile that edge along this one. And now we trim convert. This extend by intersecting it with that profile. We keep this lower bit. We delete the curve, the profile, because we don't need them. And we take now that curve there, the lower one, and we will snap it to these CVs that we've got here. The extended surface is not needed anymore. This surface can be hidden away. And now this moves here, this moves here, this one goes there, and that one there. And you can see now we have generated an extension of that surface which will be hitting that edge there. And that's the foot of the mirror. Now we can save up and add some radii there. See if we can get it with an automatic radius to do what the scan was doing. So this is the edgeline function. To update on it. And let's type in some numbers here. See what's getting us close to something, but not that. Let's go with a smaller number. Let's use here the explicit control function. And let's bring up the mesh. So the mesh is telling us the following story. We've got a blend starting roughly here and ending roughly here. It's quite a big blend And on the rear area, it's getting quite tight, so it's something like that. Let's hide this mesh away. Bring that there. Let's try this one. See here. And we've got our work cut out for us. So what we want to do is undo that. Take the bottom surface, this surface, and the curves. Let's work some magic there. So I'll bring in a blend curve from here to here. Adjust it. So that's one blend curve. The other one is going from roughly here to here. And we'll edit this one as well. So click on the green lines and that will line these up. And let's get it a bit more relaxed. And now the easy part is over. Now we are getting to the fun part. We should be projecting that, a straight line like that. So project view onto that, this curve, and that gives us that curve and surface. Cool. Now let's fit curve this. Delete the history on that. Move its pivot down there. Snap it to that point. Scale it out till it hits that spot there. And now we will be projecting to that surface on the side view of that curve and surface and that curve. And this will generate us that curve and surface. So that looks decent. That seems to be the word today. What I want to do now is try monorail like this. So I was adjusting those curves because our curves on surface and the blend curves were not closing in a nice volume, in a nice four-sided contour. And I want this set up like this. Degree 5, degree 5. Even though the connection is not done, it looks pretty swell. So I'll take that as a win. what we can do is add on the generation side 2 more CVs and click on generation 2, rebuild, same on the other one, add 3 spans on the generation side, bring it back down to 5. That's nice and clean ish, but I'll take that. Let's bring back the mesh. The mesh is, we're working well here on this side. This is not bad, but the mesh does definitely have more volume down there. So what we can do is we can now take that curve, and because we know that is working, we can take those CVs and move them out normal. This will increase the size of that blend towards the bottom there. And we can see how far off we are. So you can notice that in this area we're actually below the scan quite a bit. So we are deviating there. After that we've got clean highlights. Now this is far away from that, and we see that this area is actually pulling those highlights with it. So I will kind of ignore this. I will adjust that blend there, but I will ignore this because I don't want that dip there. So when it comes to mesh, I'm happy with that being ignored. Now I'll take these 2 CVs, move them out even more, giving that more space to breathe. Let's bring back the mesh. So we're getting closer there, which is good. I will untrim this surface here. Or let's see, we'll look at that curved surface. And I want that area to come out, so I will make sure that from this view I'm switching to something like this, which will allow for more volume here in the core area. So I'll hit refresh vector, and that adjusts the surface, and this gives it a bit more volume down there. This will move out as well a little bit. So the way we've done this here, that's going to be the same way I'm going to build this area here at the top. And yeah, that's it. And the same thing will be done here. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to build some of these surfaces and keep recording. And I think I'm going to set it to twice the speed so we can slow it down, check it out, and keep going. So I've got that in there, and I'll show you how I'm going to close that little area there. So I want that area to run through. So what I want to get there is I need this curve here, and then I need the big curves. These ones here. Actually, there's an even easier way to get this done. I don't even need that. Actually, I do need it. So I'll generate myself a rail surface with one generation curve, this being this one, and two rail curves, those two. And now I'm going to extend this. And I will be extending in both directions. So now it lines up with that edge and the front edges. Now this is what I'm taking to adjust these surfaces manually. So this will suffer a trim convert by intersecting this little surface with this one, and I'm keeping that area there. And I'm not keeping the originals. Same goes for this one, but we need to extend it first. So that's on one side, and then on the other side, this is where things will start getting more interesting. The reason why I'm saying that is that I want this surface to follow its route and hit this surface here. So what I will be doing is extending that surface till it gets to that point there, and then I will divide it along that line. That I don't need. We fit curving this, extending it, and what I want to do is I want to turn it into degree 2. Degree 2, yes, correct. And I will be aligning a tangent to that there, and this point attaches to that point. This gets pushed out till it hits that spot there, more or less. You want that distance to be as small as it can be. There we go. Now we're bringing this surface back in, deleting that current surface, and let's project normal direction this curve onto it. There we go. It gives it that certain wave, and that wave is coming off of this core here in it, and it also is the core that gives us that transition there. So it's very important to keep these things in mind. It's not just building it just because I feel like doing it like that. It has a logic to it. So this will be aligned G2, curvature to that fillet piece there. You can see that intention work starting to show itself. That's something I'm not that happy with, but we'll have to find a way. I'll stretch it and add one handle there, make it resemble to that there. And now align it again. So what I'm trying to do here is find a way that this follows that route of that, the route of that blue curved surface. Have to manually adjust this to get it looking like that, because we know that's roughly what a natural fillet would have been doing, that area. So that current surface gets deleted. And now I will project to that surface this curve here, and that certain view where it resembled as much as it could. Turn this down to degree 1. We'll take care of the S that we see here and this hull. That we do by going into Surface Edit and hitting Planarize Hull with a view-based plane. That's clean. Okay. Now this goes back to being degree 5. And now we will be adjusting. We will align that. We will align this surface to that edge there. Do a partial alignment. This one, this side of it goes onto that current surface. Also partial alignment. That is quite okay. And now the final bit will be generating bi-rail. This current surface, this edge here. We need 2 generation curves. So again, current surface, another one, and then the edge of that radius and that edge there. And now what we'll be doing is defining where we connect and how. So the 2 generation sides will be curvature. And that will take care of that dip there. And we want, along this line, we want at least tangent, so that's rail 1. And I want explicit control on this. Turn it degree 5 and 5, and that's it. We can add 2 spans like that. We will be fine-tuning this at a later stage because this is awful. But it does a job for the moment. So I've deleted the history on that, and I want to line this to this here. Actually, let's do it the other way around. Let's do first position alignment. This goes there, and then we're blending. Position influence turn on. 2 CV rows, and then the blend factor will be 0. And the same here at the bottom. Now we will be doing the G2 alignment there. delete the history again. And the final alignment, also edge-based here, not vector. There we go, also vector. We can add one span down there, and we will be splitting down that line. So that's taking care of that side. And on this other side, that's going to be a bit more interesting, as this is becoming smaller. So it's basically the same way of doing it. That there. I want this curve to be G2 connected to this fillet. Bring it back like this. That current surface goes away. We do a nice project view onto that surface of that curve. And now this side, you'll see a different adjustment as well. I want here this edge, this, to extend this way. I want it to get to that point there. And I'll be aligning that surface to that curve, pulling it down, and I'll adjust a few more CV rows. That's nicer. That curve is adjusted to that edge there to be a G2 connection. Okay. And now let's play with this surface here. Let's make it a degree 1 there. Let's align it to that current surface and do more blending on it. Now this gets adjusted to that curve there, and I will not be blending at all. And the final touch is actually G2 connection of that edge onto that current surface there. And this one onto that curved surface there. That's it in the sketch phase. That solves that area as well. Project align this onto that surface, normal direction. The one thing that I really want to take care of here is this. I want this S-ing taken care of. So I don't like it at all. So I'll go into Plannerize Hull, click that hull there, And if I have done that, we'll have to do it this way around and on this one as well. So we want clean hull. As I was saying, we should put these on planes, but what I forgot to mention is the first one that we have to take care of is actually this surface here. And then I'll show you a quick way how to make this nice and clean. We take that surface, delete its construction history, and we turn down CV count in that direction. So along the radius, the direction of the radius down to 2, which means that these are on planes. So if you've got 3 points, you're always defining one plane. That's the minimum amount you need for one. If you didn't know that, you might need to check up some geometry lessons, or just trust me and that's it. So we've got that in there. Now we can take the same surface, bring it up to count of 5. That means that all those CVs will now sit on the same plane that was defined by the first 3 points that we've seen before. And now what we do is we take these 2 surfaces, we untrim them, we delete that curve on hit surface, and this one, as we don't need them at all. And we go into aligning that radius on both surfaces by projecting it normal to the surface we're aligning to. So that's one. Now let's take care of that edge onto that little surface there. Perfect. We can now squeeze our view. And once we look at these, we will see that they are sitting, the CVs will be sitting on a plane. And if not, which is our case, very close but not fully, we can go ahead and align these to sit on a plane. So we'll planarize the hull, view-based. Let's see, now it's got it. And this works because we are project aligning, so it's keeping the projection and everything. It's just cleaning this up. So this is giving it even more quality, basically. There we go. Let's drop one in there as well. So it's nicely async. But as I said before, this takes care of that. Same goes here and here. Okay. So now that we've got that, what I will be doing is I'll align this surface to this one first. So I'm getting these hulls correct. And then project aligning them, that surface to the upper one and to the lower one. What I'll do now, I'll just film myself doing it. Feel free to follow up, but what I'll also do is speed up the recording. So I guess I'll take this kind of a wave and go with it. If that makes everything work better, then I'm fine with that. Having them on a plane is usually the best thing, but sometimes you have to break away some of these principles. That does it for that one. Let's bring in the one at the front, and we'll clean this one up as well. Same way, a few less CVs and a few more, and we'll slowly get there. What I'll do also is take a copy of this, so I know I have it there as a reference, and template it. Same story, just follow along. That does it for this side here. Same principle will apply here. We divide that, do the same thing there. At the bottom, same. All of this is the same, so it's pointless in me filming all this. It's something you should do. Try it and see where it takes you. And if you've got questions, just leave them in the comment section and I'll get back to you. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following along. And I'll catch you in the next videos. My plan for the next ones would be to add here a little radius, make it look more like the real deal. A radius here, so detail this in a bit, then adding the rear lights, and then we'll follow along and in other videos add details like this kind of a radius here, start making this look like it's a model that we love working on, not just something that we do. Okay, so thank you for tuning in and I'll catch you in my next videos. Like and subscribe and share if you found this useful, and yeah, this will help me keep going. Thank you.